So according to ESPN, the Jets and the Giants reportedly have serious interest in acquiring the number 1 overall draft pick, which they would take Cam Ward. So apparently both teams have very serious interest in Cam Ward. And it's just kind of funny too, if the Giants didn't beat the Colts in that pointless game in week 17, they would have already had the number 1 overall draft pick, which they would have drafted Cam Ward. So the fact that they now want to trade up is just kind of hilarious. It shows their incompetence and just the state of that franchise, but it is what it is, man. And I feel like this too is kind of because of Shedeur Sanders. He said some really questionable stuff, borderline pretty arrogant stuff this past week at the scouting combine, saying that no matter where he goes, he just brings success with him. And the fact that, his dad is Deion Sanders, there's just a lot of baggage there. There's a lot of baggage, and I don't mind arrogant, cocky QBs coming into the league. It could be sort of fun and exciting, but at the same time, there's a real fine line there. And yeah, man, I just think his comments have just been a bit troubling this past week. And, I've compared him to Johnny Manziel in the past before. I do think there's some similarities there for sure. And we've seen cocky QBs come into the NFL draft. Shout out Josh Rosen. He flamed out in a really ugly way. And in the end, it might be a good thing that his draft stock is reportedly falling, because I don't think he's good enough to go on the Browns and resurrect that franchise. He's just not that caliber of a QB. He's not an Andrew Luck. He's not a Joe Burrow. So him potentially falling to the middle part of the first round could be a good thing. And if you're a Raiders fan and you are interested in Shedeur Sanders, that could be a good thing too. So yeah, man, let me know I'm curious, if you were a GM of an NFL team, would you be interested in drafting Shedeur Sanders? I'm curious. Let me know in the comments below. Now, honestly, if I were a GM, if I had a top 5 pick, no way I would draft Shedeur Sanders. No way. But in the middle of the first round, I could justify that. Absolutely. Absolutely, man. And if he goes to the Raiders and he falls that far, they should absolutely draft him. That makes a lot of sense. But a top 5 draft pick for Shedeur Sanders, I just don't see it, bro. I just don't see it. But that's just me. So back to Cam Ward and the Giants and the Jets reportedly being interested in him. So as of right now, it's reported that the Jets are okay with Tyrod Taylor being the QB1 for the 2025 season. I know there's kind of been an outcry of this on social media, saying, oh, it's the same old Jets, blah, blah, blah. But man, Tyrod Taylor's been in the league for a minute. He's a veteran. He's a Super Bowl champion with the Baltimore Ravens. And when we saw him with the Jets a year ago, when he got in there, he looked pretty good. He looked a lot better than Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion. And he also has years of starting in Buffalo, so he knows the division a little bit, you know what I mean? So for him to potentially be the bridge QB for this 2025 year in the first year of a long rebuild for this Aaron Glenn era, I don't hate it. I really, really don't. And it's just a weak QB draft class for the 2025 draft. It's essentially Cam Ward or bust. So I'm sure the Jets do have interest in Cam Ward, but I would be cool just to roll with Tyrod Taylor because potentially a year from now you could be getting Archie Manning in next year's draft if he has a great year. Who knows? He might stay for an extra year in college. I don't know, but some people are saying he might come out in the 2026 draft. So that would definitely make it a significantly better draft class than the one we have right now. But yeah, man, if you're a Jets fan, does trading up for Cam Ward excite you? Does it make sense? Or not, let me know in the comments below. Now, if they do trade up and actually acquire Cam Ward, I don't hate that, especially if he impresses you with the interviews he has with Aaron Glenn and whatnot. I trust Aaron Glenn, and at this point, you kind of have to. You kind of have to. Now, he definitely has a lot of work to do, but he learned from the best in rebuilding a dead franchise. You know, he was essentially right there with Dan Campbell from the get go to just see how it's done. And I really think he could do the same thing in New York. If you could resurrect the Detroit Lions, you could resurrect any franchise in the NFL. So you have to trust Aaron Glenn. And if Aaron Glenn is okay with trading up and acquiring Cam Ward, then, I think that's a good move. Now, if I'm the Giants, I guess it's kind of the same story, except it could be more of a desperation move from Brian Dable's perspective and their GM Joe's perspective, because if they have another crappy year, man, both of those guys are going to be gone. In my opinion, they should have got fired after the way it ended last season, but it is what it is. They have another year to make something happen. So yeah, man, we'll see how it all plays out. Let me know what you think about this news. Do you think both teams should trade up or should they stay? What do you think they should do? Let me know in the comments below. Now, if I were Cam Ward and if I had to choose where I wanted to go, Tennessee, the Giants, or the Jets, call me crazy, but I would definitely pick the New York Jets. I'm a big Aaron Glenn fan. I believe in him. I really think he's going to reset the culture there with the New York Jets. Plus, you still have Garrett Wilson there. You have Breece Hall. You have pieces on that defense. It's not a complete crapshoot. As far as Tennessee, you really don't have a lot there as far as personnel and whatnot. The coaching staff is still pretty unproven. And with the New York Giants, sure, you have Tracy, who looks like a promising young RB. You have Malik Neighbors, obviously an elite weapon. You have some pieces on that defense, but I just think overall the Jets are better than the Giants and the Titans roster. But that's just me, man. Let me know if you were Cam Ward and you had a choice. Would you rather go to New York, Tennessee, or the Giants? Let me know in the comments below. If you made this far, please subscribe, like the vid, it'd help out your boy a ton. That's all I got for right now. Peace.
The Jets will line up the first down marker right at the 39-yard line. The Jets now move the chains. The Titans might have been caught off guard there on that fourth down play.
Well, why? Why would you be caught off guard in a situation like this? You always have to be ready on the defensive side. That time they were not.
First down at the 36. Jason Morrow makes the catch.
Arm strength is a nice thing to have when the window of opportunity is very small. Quarterbacks with strong arms can still fire it in there. Nice throw right on target by the QB.
Second down and 7. It's Marshall. Marshall's taken down at the 26.
The Jets understand just get whatever yards you can every time you run a play. That's what they do that time. It's a short completion, but look what position it puts them here in on third down. This is something they can handle.
That is play number 10 on this drive. Glad to have you back as we come out of the 2-minute warning here in the first half. He's brought down. That's going to bring up fourth down. The offense back out on the field here for this fourth and short play.
They're changing things here. The quarterback changing. He's giving the receiver some new instructions.
And Morris is stopped there. The offense picks up another first down and extends this drive.
They are, Jim. They're marching down the field, and I give all the credit to the offensive line. They are dominating the defense right now.
First and 10. Brandon Marshall has the grab. Jets are in the end zone. Marshall's caught his first touchdown of the season. The Jets offense looks unstoppable. Touchdown drives the last 2 times they've had it. And here they go again, Phil.
Yeah, they've been very good, Jim. They're taking advantage of situations and scoring touchdowns, and we know that's what you must do. If you don't get these touchdowns, what happens later in the game always comes back to bite you.
That'll be 2nd and 4 after the running play.
Let's go.
And Morris is going to take the handoff now. He's averaging about 3 yards a carry on the day. The Jets lead right now, but you will see that not everything is going their way. And Morris has had a tough one, especially down the stretch. If they want to control the game, you have to think they're going to go back to him for some more touches and try to get it right.
That's right. Keep giving him the football. Keep mixing the plays up. Don't get obvious in your play calls. If you do, the defense will have everything on their side.
The Titans with a nickel look here on defense. Unable to bring it in.
Got to give the defense a lot of credit there, don't you, Jim? They are all over the receivers, all over the field, nowhere to throw it, and it just results in an incompletion.
2nd down and 10. Handoff made. And Morgan's in.